Aslema Nigeria from Tunisia. If you are ever recruited by NetDragon, a Chinese company, then Tangyu will be your CEO. It's happening. Humanoid robots will be our colleagues, managers, and teammates. This artificial intelligence seems to have all the managerial skills it might need to lead the company. It will help the company make rational and non-biased decisions. It will also be involved in the development of talent. Can you imagine a robot attracting, onboarding, developing, motivating, and retaining high-performing employees? Isn't this great? I've worked in HR, and employees often complain about their performance appraisal. They may think managers are somehow subjective. So finally, an evaluation by an artificial intelligence far away from emotions and assumptions. Would this make employee happier? Would it provide a healthy work environment? Let's imagine our work, our daily life in the near future. I can see that I'm recruited in the metaverse. I am part of a nowhere company with colleagues who are everywhere. Companies are no longer hiring permanent employees. They have access to platforms matching companies' projects and service providers, experts. An artificial intelligence will analyze and do the matching. I am a set of skills on a platform. Today, I'm working on a project with a team for a fixed term. Tomorrow, I'll be working on a new project with another company in a different location. Would it be possible in this context to build relationships with colleagues? In the past, you certainly attended meetings with people who speak foreign languages that you do not master. Now, actually, you don't need to learn foreign languages because there are real-time translation applications that can translate everything, anytime. Everything becomes virtual. You don't know many details about your colleagues anymore. You don't shake hands or hug. You don't know what they look like, their face, but you know their avatars, their digital twins. Your human and humanoid resources director will work hard to make you feel engaged and motivated, a quite challenging position. A few years ago, we used to call him HR director or director of people and culture. We also have a chief happiness officer to bring us together virtually. Our chief happiness officer organizes virtual team building activities and launches online nursing service to check regularly our health. Some suffer from varicose veins and obesity due to lack of physical activity, skin problems due to lack of natural light, and stress-related eczema. The workplace looked like this. These are my ex-colleagues. We had time to meet around the lunch. We had team-building activities in open air. We had time to build strong connections and share strong culture and corporate values. 10 years later, we are still meeting and loving each other. Then we will shift to remote work where virtual environment is prioritized. Teleportation holograms, roaming avatars are not a part of science fiction movies. It's the near future of work. Are you ready to embrace virtual reality and metaverse? Well, several questions arise today for HR managers and employees. How to reshape the employee experience? What are the prerequisites to adapt to these new forms of work? How to build a strong culture and connect hybrid teams around common values. When some employees are located on-site and others join virtually from off-site. Experts recommend to focus on transversal skills like agility, problem-solving, resilience, emotional intelligence. My question is, how can managers and HR reconcile organizational requirements with human identity? The specification of each individual. Is there a way to anticipate people's reactions to a new, untested organization? Let me share the experiences of Tunisian friends at work during the COVID pandemic. It happened in a big company that had decided, when most of the companies resumed normal activities back to office, they decided for cost reasons to keep the work online. It lasted more than a year. The HR director received a few requests from some employees asking to end up. These calls for help were not taken seriously. Then some pretty serious psychiatric cases appeared. Some had anxieties from the past awakened. Others had heavy depressions. But at the same time, some employees seemed to be very satisfied with working online all the time. So, a first hypothesis would be, some people will adapt more easily, or I would say more naturally, to working online. Could it be linked to personality profiles, innate personality? So, let me introduce personality types, their main characteristics, their reactions, psychological needs, and let's try to guess how the future work environment will influence them. I will refer to the Process Communication Model, PCM. It's a model used by NASA for years in the recruitment and training of astronauts. But you can do the same analysis with other personality models. One of the personalities described by PCM is the harmonizer. My friend Abir, the one with tears on the photo, is a harmonizer type. She's warm, sensitive, compassionate. Harmonizers are empathetic. They need empathy even in the workplace. When others would say there are no emotions at work, harmonizers would privilege friendly, strong links with colleagues. What will please them is to be recognized as people. Thank them for the quality of the work, okay? But what will please them more is to know that they count for you as a person. They like belonging to a team with strong friendships, links. They need interpersonal, relational comfort and closeness, even in the workplace. When we have a discussion, I am generally straight. Sometimes I keep a little distance, but Abir takes me by the arm, fixes my hair, puts my skirt collar back in place. If it's not straight, harmonizers like to pamper all the senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. They often exchange hugs and warm glances. Their word is the word of emotions, senses, friendship, and love. Working from home, for example, can ramp up a feeling of isolation, incompatible trait with empathy. So the challenge for managers will be to find the best way to encourage empathy in the future workplace. The challenges for designers of the metaverse, for researchers, is how to design empathy and social connections in the metaverse and virtual reality. It's to make you good at using empathy. Another personality type is the thinker type. Let me ask you questions. Who already planned what they will do today after the TEDx? Who doesn't like it when a picture is not hung properly, not aligned in a wall? If you raised your hand, then you may have the same profile as my friend Sabri. You are logical, responsible, and organized. Sabri likes to make a list of things to do and is happy to cross out finished actions, done, done, done. He prepares his outfit for the next day before going to sleep. People with strong thinker traits have good analytical minds. They need to weigh all the options before making decisions. They gather as much information as they can, sort it, analyze it. When Sabri has a conference, for example, an important meeting, he prefers to visit the stage, see the space, rehearse. He's not comfortable if he discovers the place at the last minute. When he has to make a trip, he knows in advance how long it will take. He prepares a schedule, a whole program, day by day, morning and evening. When I provide trainings, for example, I quickly spot them because they are the ones who will ask, what time do we finish? When is the break? It's not that they are bored, it's just they need to know. Thinker types dislike the unexpected, the improvised. They are sometimes afraid to take risks. If we deprive a thinker type of what is important to them, reference points, information, schedule, a framework, he will show his stress by being on the details. For example, to a waiter at the restaurant who will tell him, your order will be ready in a few minutes, there is a strong chance that he will answer, little time means 5 minutes, 7 minutes. If he's working on a project and a new one is thrown at him, he will need to understand why and how to commit to it. His preferred work environment is alone or with a person, one person, rather than with a large group or in an open space. Who recognizes himself in this profile? Who among you is more effective when studying alone or with a buddy, usually the same person? This is the preferred environment of the thinker type. We can therefore think that online work where he can work from home, being alone, is beneficial. This is possible. On the other hand, in remote work, the risk is to mix up lunchtime, working hours, breaks, personal and professional life. This is the mistake that many persons had made and have paid the price by going through a burnout during pandemic. So set a schedule and stick to it. Managers would have the responsibility to think on how to provide a structured information in a moving environment. Set up systems capable of detecting on real-time information required by their teams and provide answers in real time, or let's say short time. Reducing uncertainty in a moving world and providing structure will be the challenge for managers. The third personality I would describe is the imaginer. Imaginers are calm, reflective, and imaginative. They are not talkative. People may see them as introverts because they already step forward to present themselves. In a meeting or a classroom, they are not the ones asking questions or interacting, but when asked to share their thoughts, their eloquence is often a surprise. They are deep in thoughts. They can easily do projections, plan strategies, have a vision. Interacting with others drains them of energy. They need to spend time on their own and preferably in uncluttered space to recharge. They also need time and they prefer being directed with clear instructions. So yes, working in an office with other people is tiring, and virtual workplace is beneficial for their needs of solitude. But again, the challenge would be how to respect the psychological needs and yet build a strong corporate culture. Create the feeling of belonging while providing personal space. There are other personality types in PCM, but the objective of my talk is not to explain the model, but rather to point out the importance of taking into account the personality types while reshaping the workplace. At the end, am I saying that our personality could be a limit to our adaptability? For sure, no. Our personality is the key where we should start to define our personality is the key where we should start to define our path for transformation readiness program. It's where we should start if you want to adapt. Know more about yourself and how to satisfy your psychological needs to be able to adapt. It's the key for managers and HR to understand their employees and anticipate their stress sequences and then decide on how to reshape the workplace and the whole work journey. It's related to the Ubuntu principle. I love this African word, Ubuntu, the principle of humanity beyond borders, and I would say beyond digitalization. So, scared about digitalization, artificial intelligence, new workplace, the one thing that should scare you is not taking the time to know who you are. Thank you.